Hello, my name is Morphin. I'm playing the Stanley Parable, which is an amazing story-driven storytelling game. There was a source mod a while ago where you had a narrator and you were playing what the narrator tells you to do, or you could decide not to do that and fuck the whole thing up. And that was really entertaining, but also really short. It had multiple endings, and it was quite interesting to play something like that. And now we got a full game. It is I think 20% reduced on Steam right now for like €9 or 10. And behind this console, I got another monitor. There's also a small delay to it, which is really nice. Anyway, let's start.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Yeah, and this is quite the same beginning as in the mod. It's really the same story. There was like a demo to this game, which Steam Train, like Game Grumps, played, which was really cool, and it looked like it would be something different. But this is so far the same story, but we will see what happens.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, was that me?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Yeah, and that's stuff that happens if you stay in the same place for too long. But I want to explore. Okay, never mind. Well, where is the cafeteria? I guess it's over here.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, this is the same thing again, just to show you what happens.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Oh, I make a typing sound every time I hit use.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Okay, let's carry on.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, let's do what he says for
And
now.
so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh, this looks interesting.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
To do synergize core value expenditures, shift global market monetize free to play. Yeah, monetize free to play. I get it. We need, what does it say? In the more, oh, more. It was just more. Less reviews. 402 plus 405. Want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule. But I think that's a stupid idea. More water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more inept to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Some sort of child trap. Teenagers, size of demographic, space between the teenagers, a lot of percent. Throw something in the ideas bin. 10 no more bins, trash cans, 20 renaming of the ideas bin, 30 firing of me. Where's the idea bin? I want to throw something into the idea bin. Oh, here's another. Did I already? What do people want? Things, money, more money, things, but with money to buy more things, graphs about things and money. We have our new product. Okay, let's carry on. Oh.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Now I'm gonna stay here for a second.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
You don't tell me what to do. This is a mighty interesting broom closet, I have to say.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
To make you confused, of course.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Well, but there was a sign on the door, that's why I entered.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite."
XD.
Find this concerning.
Good thing I have subtitles on.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You
Am
went
I?
to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Okay, just wait a second if there's more. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I guess that's it.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I want to go to the executive bathroom. Or sit on chairs, but I can't jump.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Of course not.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I couldn't know it! I like the shadows in this game.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay. Oh.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Where are the controls? Over there? Facility power. Let's try this first. 4. Yes. Okay. Ten. Thing. Okay. What was that monitor over here? This one. Console disabled. What is this? This seems openable, since there's light coming through the door. 2. 1. Five. Okay. Nice screen.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
Oh, I
For
can
it was
move.
not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, where are we going now? This is supposed to be the end. Are we going to the menu? Oh, we are at the start.
All of his co-workers
Yeah.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to...
Okay, so this was somewhat the normal path to go, except for some detours I made, but still this was like the way it's meant to be played. Or not really, because the game is mostly about not listening to that guy, because the game is about being controlled by somebody else, and that somebody else is also the narrator. So you want to do the opposite of what he's saying most of the time, and you get to like more interesting endings. But that's it for now, and I'm gonna make another run very soon, I guess. I don't know. We will see. And then I will show you the other things that you can do in this game. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and bye bye.